Titans. Welcome to the morning, afternoon, and evening edition of Titan TV News. I'm Rae Rein. In the special edition of Titan News, we are going green. Illinois Wesleyan says one of its main focuses is environmentalism. Yet we feel not enough is being done to educate students about what goes on off campus. There are many issues we'll highlight, ones not usually covered by the mass media, from energy crises to mass extinctions, as well as new innovations from the international community. We want to broaden the definition of environmental emergency and show you how these stories affect everyone, not just those in the story. We'll also have an interview with biology professor Gibbon Harper. Finally, we'll close with some comments about biodiversity and how we should look at the issue of environmentalism as a whole. So, grab an endangered animal and some all-natural popcorn, because this is all the environmental news you need to know. And now over to Connie Margaritas and Kristen Minzik for the headlines. Girls?
Sometime later in 2007, less than 70 miles from Florida, a consortium of Spanish, Indian, and Norwegian companies will likely start drilling for oil. The American Association of Petroleum Geologists calls the offshore Cuban oil deposits a significant find. Unfortunately, because of the trade embargo with Cuba, the U.S. will not be able to take part in the drilling. The 45-year-old embargo has been called absurd by many in the international community, and many in the oil industry are now taking up that refrain. Emboldened by a newly democratic Congress and the potential for regime change in Cuba, oil industry lobbyists are promoting bills that call for the exemption of the oil industry from the embargo. Drilling would be beneficial not only for the American companies, but also for the American public, reducing dependency on OPEC and perhaps even seeing a slight drop in price.
Meanwhile, President Hugo Chavez issued a decree to nationalize all foreign oil companies in Venezuela's Orinoco River. The Venezuelan oil company, Petróleos de Venezuela S.A., plans to take a majority stake in each of the four main companies and will only allow them to stay if they agree to become a minority partner. This venture will cost around $17 billion and complete Chavez's plan to nationalize all energy companies. Previously, in February of 2007, Chavez nationalized the largest telecommunications and electricity companies.
Although many companies have been looking at the possibility of utilizing tidal energy and tidal stream turbines, Virginia-based Verdant Power is one of the first to test the viability of this new type of power production. The largest test to date is underway in New York City's East River. 6 35-kilowatt turbines, which can flow as fast as 4 knots, will pivot with the shifting current. They are scheduled to be installed by mid-March in a channel that's off-limits to large vessels. The turbines are safe for fish because the rotors are slow-turning and blunt-edged. If test yields positive results, Verdant Power hopes to add hundreds more turbines into the river, potentially reaching as many as 10 megawatts, enough to power up to 4,000 homes. Up until now, tidal energy has not been considered as seriously as other renewable energy sources, even though 3 proposed tidal energy plants have been proposed in the United States alone. If this latest test succeeds, however, more attention might be given to the prospect of investing in alternative energies.
European Union leaders recently adopted a binding target use of renewable energy, such as wind and solar power. The target is a 20% overall increase throughout the EU by 2020, and each country must now contribute to that goal. In another key measure, EU leaders said they would cut carbon dioxide emissions by 20% by 2020. Although these measures seem progressive, the EU has been known to fall short of environmental goals in the past. As highlighted by this newscast before, only 2 EU states, Britain and Sweden, are on track to meet their Kyoto emission commitments by 2010, while the rest are lagging. 15 countries will miss their goals entirely. The EU also tried to put in place a carbon trading scheme, which did not work because they allowed more permits than they were emissions from 2005 to 2007. Although they are trying to rectify it now, it speaks to the inconsistent nature of the system. Despite this, however, there was a reported feeling of accomplishment within the organization, and many consider the new measures to be fully attainable by their intended dates.